I was going to try and do a Laurel Hardy joke, but I'm not funny, so... Oh well. Stan Ollie is directed by John S. Baird and stars John C. Reilly as Oliver Hardy and Steve Coogan as Stan Laurel. And the basic synopsis for this movie is that Laurel and Hardy are at the back end of their careers and they go off to Britain for one last shot at the big time. And unfortunately, it ends up being their last tour. So it's the story of a very unforgiving final tour that they did of Great Britain. Alright, so this movie didn't follow a typical structure of a movie. Like, usually if you go see something like Captain America or Hulk or Avengers or Spider-Man, something like that, if you go see a movie like that, it's like, right, start here, establish a problem, keep on going towards the climax, and then have the ending of the film. But in this one, there was no real apex. There was no real, like, it was as if it went and climax, and that's it. The climax, like, the ending is the climax. So that for me was it felt a bit disjointed at times, mainly because of the fact that there was no typical structure to a film. I mean, don't get us wrong, I like it when films try and do something different, but this one just felt a little, I don't know, it felt like we were just sort of just following along. And that is probably how the real life events happened, but it literally just felt like we were just end. That's what it felt like. Also, there was a lot of the film where it felt like you were being told when to laugh. Now, I find that insulting to an audience. Now, I know that in this one, I can let them off in this instance, purely because it's a movie about them doing a stand-up show, like an actual show in a theatre. So when the audience is laughing, you know, it's because they're laughing at what's on stage. It's not because they're telling them what to laugh at. However, the majority of the stuff they were laughing at wasn't funny. I mean, it may have been funny back then, but and don't get me wrong, I grew up watching the Laurel and Hardy movies. Obviously, I'm not that old. My dad used to put them on for us and would watch them together. But it really did feel like... I don't know whether it was because I knew it wasn't Laurel and Hardy, or if it was because it was in colour, or if it was... I don't know what the reason was, but whatever they did on stage, I didn't find that funny. It was a very funny movie, but it just felt like a lot of the times you were being told, right, this is funny, laugh. So yeah, I wasn't a fan of that. However, on the flip side, John C. Reilly was brilliant. He did absolutely phenomenal in this. He managed to look like Oliver Hardy. Like, that's weird. He actually managed to make himself look a lot like him. And he was very... what's the word? He pulled you in and he held you there. He managed to portray a guy with lots of issues and hide them. But obviously it's... John C. Reilly doesn't have them issues. He managed to do it in a way that made you think, right, this guy does have issues, but he's hiding them. And, oh God, his mannerisms were just up here. They were fantastic. And the fact that he gained so much weight for this role and actually looked the part, because you can usually tell when someone's wearing like a fat suit. That was actually John C. Reilly. His transformation from looking at him in Holmes and Watson, because he's never been in the best shape. He's never been like, you know, oh my God, look at this guy. This looks just tanked. He's never been that big, and he looked awesome as Oliver Hardy. I hope he hasn't done himself any long-term damage in doing this. I kind of guess that they've done it in a controlled environment and they've managed to make him look the part while keeping his health in check. But yeah, he just looked great. Also, Steve Coogan. He was even better. He was absolutely just... You kind of forgot he was Steve Coogan and just started seeing him as Stan Laurel. In fact, towards the end, I actually forgot what Laurel and Hardy looked like. Like, I, again, have fond memories of watching them when I grew up. And to look at them both, they started mixing together in my head. And looking at Steve Coogan, I was just like, you are Stan Laurel. You are Laurel from Laurel and Hardy. Seeing his process and seeing, like, how he got to the point that he was trying to make with all of the comedy shows, like how he was able to just make jokes up like that. He managed to portray himself as the idiot, but when actually being the mastermind, it was great. It floored me, honestly. The fact that Coogan and Reilly had so much chemistry on screen as well, that really, really was heartwarming, because when they had good times, you felt it. When they had bad times, you felt it. That actually brings me on to my next point. Despite the weird structure of the whole film, the emotional structure in this film was through the roof, and it really creeps up on you. You just feel yourself feeling happy, and then you feel like a bit run down because that's how they're feeling. And then as it's creeping up towards the end, and they're having the last bit of the movie, and that emotion, it's just creeping up and creeping up and creeping up, and it doesn't like bat you in the back of the head like you do in, I don't know, something where it's like cry. It was sort of like and now you may cry. Also, this was very nice breath of fresh air for a movie because this had no swearing in it whatsoever, and you could tell that this was a movie about two gentlemen, not about two dudes, not about two blokes. A movie about two gentlemen who knew how to handle themselves, who knew how to treat women, who knew how to be nice to everyone. It was really heartwarming to watch a movie about just two nice guys, and that made the movie even better for me. I mean, you could have so easily had a scene where they have a little argument and have them just like cuss each other out. I mean, even the scene where they have an argument, they managed to make it heartwarming. Like, how? you feel sad because they're having an argument, but it's still heartwarming. Go see it. If you have any love or even just know the names Laurel and Hardy, go and see it. Stan and Ollie gets a B+. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, you can click subscribe, you can click like, you can click whatever you want. Click dislike if you want. I don't. Okay. I've got reviews coming up for Vice, Beautiful Boy, and Glass. I'm not sure what's coming out anytime after that though. I don't think there's any more big notable releases this month. Could be wrong on that though. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I have been Jake, and I'll see you in the next one.